सेव किया था ना?
मैं सिर्फ इसलिए गया था क्योंकि उसने मुझे कॉल किया, that's it. But listen तो.
Save it for someone else.
जिंदगी में सेव करना जरूरी है, मगर जब बात पैसों की हो सिर्फ सेविंग से काम नहीं चलेगा। इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड्स में इन्वेस्ट कीजिए और अपने सेविंग्स को आगे बढ़ने का मौका दीजिए।
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.
Really, the final move in this ongoing mini general election has now arrived, because Telangana, the fifth of the 5 states going to the polls in this round, is now voting. Soon enough, results will be out by this Sunday, and Telangana is a state which has given us many fascinating ideas and surprises. We look at Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, we've talked about both in detail. Those votes have been cast, so the fate of those candidates is now sealed. However, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, they are Hindi heartland states, and Mizoram, the distant Mizoram, has politics of its own. Telangana, however, is a smaller mid-sized state. These are the states that send between 10 to 20 or 10 to 19 members in National Parliament or Lok Sabha. Telangana sends 17. Telangana also is very important because it also has India's fastest growing metro, that is Hyderabad. And it's also important because Congress party is now trying to make a move there or trying to come back there. It's also important because BJP has also harbored hopes of growing its footprint in one more southern state besides Karnataka, and they thought that Telangana was a state where they had a bigger chance, also because Telangana, Andhra had a lot of influence of the Ram Mandir movement as well. That is the reason Telangana becomes really important. And then Telangana has a leader who is probably among the 5 strongest or most prominent state leaders in the country, regional leaders in the country. Also somebody who's had some national ambitions every now and then and has made no secret of them. Now, to talk about what's been happening in Telangana, to understand it better, I gave you my gyan about a week or 10 days back. I will share a link of that episode with you, so do check it out. I will also share with you the link of an article in my Writings on the Wall series that I had written during the last elections in Telangana in 2018, because there will be some references to what is usually called freebies. I prefer to call them giveaways now. I call them freebies then, but giveaways now, because Telangana is also the home of the giveaways or giveaway politics. It's sort of ideology light, but has a lot of giveaway politics. To understand Telangana better, I have with me DK Singh, our political editor, who you know very well. You get knowledge from him every week with his column. He's also been traveling in Telangana, he's met the leaders, he's also been keeping close contact with 2 of our correspondents there, Prasad Nicharametla, who's based in Hyderabad, and also Sharan Powana from Bengaluru, who's been traveling in Telangana. So he distills their knowledge as well as his knowledge and helps us understand the situation better. So DK, let me turn this to you, and let me structure this in some questions. So number 1, if the economy of Telangana is doing quite well, it is, because Telangana is now by per capita income the richest large state in the country. Large state means any state with more than 1 crore population. If you take all states in India, then Telangana is the 3rd after Sikkim and Goa, but Sikkim and Goa are very small. So any state above 1 crore, it used to be My Haryana, but Telangana has left My Haryana behind. So Telangana is now the richest state in the country by per capita, and its per capita income is almost about twice as much as the national average. So that is the reality. So despite that, and despite all this heavy welfareism, which we can see has been delivered very efficiently in Telangana. When we travel in Telangana, we can see that people are getting these benefits. Why does it still look like that at least it's not a cakewalk for BRS or for KCR?
I'm also surprised. I have been talking with Prasad and Sharan, they have been traveling, and this kind of massive anti-incumbency is difficult to explain. Because on the ground you have all the schemes getting rolled out, people are getting one benefit or the other, one scheme or the other, and yet they want this change. So this sense of fatigue creeping in so soon, it has been just 10 years. Now if it's 20 years, 15 years, we can understand. Just after 2 terms, this sense of fatigue is a bit surprising, but it's also probably because the origin of this entire Telangana thing was in this, sense of grouse, that sense of identity. First, when they started fighting for statehood from 50s onwards, it was always about or mostly about their grievance that they are not getting enough representation in government in terms of jobs, in terms of their political representation, it was not much. So that was the genesis from where it all started. Now that you have got the state, 2014 you voted for it, still it was not a separate state when they were voting. Next election, separate state, you voted for it. Now those sentiments have subsided. It's all about what's happening now. And in terms of, yes, welfare schemes, there are so many of them. Yet, as Ajit Singh once told me that
Ajit Singh of the Western UP leader,
yeah,
Chaudhry Charan Singh's
son. So he was once trying to explain to me how transactional the voters have become, and there he was saying,
Rashtriya Lok Dal leader.
So he was saying that first we used to offer them bijli, pani, sadak, that done. You just said, okay, roti, sabji. We promised that got done. Then next time you go, you have to offer them chicken, and you give them that, and next time they may be asking you liquor. So you have to keep upping the game, and that's probably is also working to some extent in Telangana, where every party is kind of offering freebies. So maybe if not TRS, another party will give that much.
And the fact also is that as we are noticing from state to state now, that when it comes to giving away giveaways or what you might call freebies, you make your choice. This is not a code which is difficult to crack, because this is something that initially many parties were shy of saying because they were afraid of fiscal dimensions of this or fiscal consequences of this. But once that aankh ka sharam is over, and once the sense of hesitation over fiscal deficits has ended, I think governments have given it up. So if one comes up with one range of freebies, the other one takes those and then just adds more money on those, and some of that's happened in Telangana.
Yeah, in Telangana too. Yes.
Give us an example, or give us some examples.
See, now Congress is offering cylinder for 500 rupees.
LPG
cylinder. TRS is saying we'll give it to you for 400 rupees. Now,
I think if this goes on, at some point somebody will say, I will give you a gas cylinder and another 100 rupees with it.
Yeah.
So we are getting there.
But for every scheme, again, TRS is also upping it. In the sense, if they were giving 216 rupees for, say, old age pension, this time they have promised to take it to 5,016 rupees. 16, by the way, in Telangana, you have, that auspicious thing, as we give 111 rupees.
101 like this.
Yeah, so
like a shakun.
Yeah, they are like, they talk about 16, 116, 216, and KCR we know as superstitious as he is.
Yes.
So in every scheme, he has been promising more and more.
If pujas and tantra mantra could win you elections, then he is winning.
Yeah. So under Raitu Bandhu also, from 10,000, he promises to take it to 16,000 after 5 years. There are several other schemes where he is promising more and more. So health scheme, if health insurance was for 5 lakhs, he is promising to take it to 15 lakhs. Similarly, Congress has its own guarantees, almost on the lines of what they offered in Karnataka.
So when one does something, the other one does the same thing but adds a little bit to it, little bit more tadka to it. So if you look at the welfare schemes that BRS, or what used to be TRS, has launched, we'll talk about that, they've launched in Telangana. In fact, some of those are quite imaginative. For example, we talk of farm subsidies. So farm subsidies, even modern economists say that it's better to give a direct subsidy to farmers, so direct farm support.
Yeah.
And TRS started it. I'm saying TRS because it was TRS then. They started it. They started giving a certain amount of money per acre. So 4,000 rupees per crop per acre to every farmer, irrespective of the size of the farm. And many of these things I had detailed in that earlier writings on the wall from Telangana. When you read that article, you will find that. So 4,000 per acre per crop. And then there was criticism, which was a kind of left povertarian criticism, that you are giving it to everybody, including to big farmers. But then if you looked at the land data in Telangana, the number of farmers who had more than 50 acres of land, 50 acres of land, was less than 15,000. So in the process, if 15,000 people got or 20,000 people got the benefit who did not deserve it, it was all right, instead of trying to finesse it by saying I will only give it to so and so. So this money went out, and that 4,000 per acre per year, so 4,000 per acre per crop, which means 8,000 per acre per year, has now become 10,000. He's now promised to make it 12,000, and then he says every year I will add 1,000 to it until it reaches 16,000. So if he is given another term in power, by his election year, he will be paying every farmer 8,000 per acre per crop, or 16,000 per acre for the year. But that's also a modern way of subsidizing the farmer. It is farm support. It's a different matter that on top of that, the central government has its minimum support price and the state governments are giving their own bonuses on top of it. So all the distortion comes in later, but many of his welfare schemes are actually quite imaginative. For example, one of the things I have noticed traveling in Telangana is this housing scheme. So central government gives you $1.5 lakh for PM Awas Yojana. He says $1.5 lakh gives you one room, and he says ye bakwas. He loves to use the word bakwas, KCR. In fact, if you have a discussion with him about politics, the word bakwas, nonsense, etc., he uses direct language. Good. It's good to be a journalist talking with him. So he calls the central government's housing scheme bakwas, because he says in that scheme, in 1.5 lakhs, you can only build one room. In one room, if you have one room in your home, where do the women of the house go to change? So that's how he came up with what he's called the 2 BHK scheme, where 2 rooms are built, and you can see them. You can see them in fact, even if you drive around Hyderabad along the ring roads, etc., then you can see these 11, 12-story buildings coming up, small towers coming up. These are all his welfare housing. And these apartments cost him 7.5 lakhs. So the question is, from where does the 7.5 lakh come? Because his state will go bankrupt, and how much can you build in 7.5 lakhs? So he's again done it in a fairly creative manner. For example, he takes the 1.5 lakh that the center gives anyway. So that's a given. So he has to spend the rest. Of the rest then, and this is once again something that others will understand, of the rest then he gives free land first of all from the government. So that is one part of the cost taken care of, and he's building multi-story, so you can build many apartments over that one piece of land. So he gives land from the government. Then he waives tax on cement. He offers free sand, right? Every state has a sand mafia. In this case, the state government gives you sand. He has also developed the use of bricks made with subsidized fly ash. These come from his thermal plants, right? So this is also disposal of fly ash. So if you add it all up, it comes to about 7.5, 8.5 lakh rupees. So you see these apartments that are coming up. So to that extent, these are imaginative things that he's done, from his direct farm support to this one. Also his support to pregnant women. From the day they get pregnant, they are registered. There are ambulances on call. Everything is taken care of in the hospital, and when they go back, they are also given a kind of a suitcase which has clothing for the baby, a little bit for them, including toys for the baby to last 3 months. I mean, no surprise that the suitcase also has a big portrait. It's in pink color, which is the KCR party color, but also has a big portrait of KCR himself. So with all that, he's done quite a bit at grassroots level.
Exactly, that's what I was coming to talk about the youth. Now again, you see this resentment building up, this issue of unemployment. I was looking at the CMI data over the months. Now, unemployment rate in Telangana is almost half of our national average, or much less than the national average. And still today, one of the major political planks of opposition parties is unemployment. But probably it's also, we are talking about the genesis of this Telangana movement. It was not just about identity. it was about the representation in the jobs. They were thinking the coastal Andhra people were getting more. Now that thing is over. People, now youths are there. What you get to hear from the youth, there are no jobs available. Now KTR has been claiming that this government,
KTR is KCR's son.
yeah, he claims that this government has provided 16,000 jobs on an average annually for the last 9.5 years. Overall 1.60 lakh jobs. But the opposition is saying that you have 2 lakh vacancies in the government, you have not filled them.
It's a small state. It's a state of about 3.6, 3.7 crore people.
Then, you know, last year there were many paper leaks. So Group A, Group B exams have not happened for years.
These are government jobs.
Yeah, under Public Service Commission examinations. So there were paper leaks, exams were cancelled. Those recruitments have not happened. So these issues are cropping up, and you see the youth are very vocal there now about all this. So all these things are kind of creating that what we call mahal, that there is this strong anti-incumbency.
Yes, and I think that's a very good point, particularly what you said, Ajit Singh told you that when people get something, people will aspire for more. It's not as if people say, now I've got enough, so I'll continue to vote for you forever, because people want to move up the ladder. So remember that old song, Thoda hai, thode ki zarurat hai. तो थोड़ा है लेकिन थोड़े की ज़रूरत हमेशा रहती है. You get something but you always want more, and that's where the yearning for change comes in.
Yeah.
Now in this yearning for change, if there is a yearning for change, we don't know, whatever happens we'll know by lunchtime on Sunday, we'll know all of that, and we'll all be there to explain to you and also tell you a few mea culpas where we go wrong, if we go wrong.
If you can add here, in 2018 when I was there, again on the ground you saw a lot of anti-incumbency, especially among the youth. The same unemployment thing was there. But elections over and they got 88 out of 119 seats.
He swept that election in spite of the fact that Congress party and Telugu Desam party then had an alliance. And I think they had two small parties also. They had
CPI was there, then this Telangana Jan Samiti.
It was called Praja Kutami, which means the People's Alliance. So CPI was there, and there was a
Telangana TJS Jan Samiti,
Telangana Jan Samiti, and that's when famously Rahul Gandhi said to us, when I asked him that is it based on chemistry, on arithmetic, he said it's based on both chemistry and arithmetic. Both failed and they haven't gone together since then. That said now, an important point that we see in this election, one phenomenon we had seen in Telangana, and that's a very significant phenomenon at a national level in terms of our national politics. That was the rise of the BJP in Telangana. So it had looked like after Karnataka, Telangana will be the state where BJP will rise. So the second southern state for BJP to rise to, and all indications were that the BJP was now taking the Congress party's space in Telangana. Wherever Congress party has weakened, some party has taken its space and its vote share. In Delhi, for example, in Punjab, Aam Aadmi Party has taken Congress Party's vote share. Even in Gujarat, Aam Aadmi Party took some of Congress Party's vote share. It had looked like in Telangana, now the BJP was moving in. And what was the evidence? The evidence was that in BJP did very poorly 2018 Vidhan Sabha elections, state assembly elections, and I'll give you the data again. TRS, KCR's party got 47% vote. Congress got 28.4, although that's a little bit misleading because it understates the Congress's strength, because Congress only contested 100 out of 119 seats. The remaining were contested by its coalition partners, but still Congress got 28.4. Let's say 30-31% vote overall. The BJP got only 7% of the vote. So that is where the BJP began. But 2019 Lok Sabha election looked like the BJP was really rising. So BJP now from 7% vote came up to 20% vote. And Congress was still stable, frozen at about 30%. And once again TRS from 47 to 42, so they had not declined that much. Congress was stable, but BJP rose from 7 to 20. So BJP collected a little bit from everywhere and maybe a little bit from Congress and TRS also. So it looked like the BJP was rising. More important thing than the vote percentage was the fact that BJP won 4 seats for Lok Sabha against Congress party's 3. And of the 4 seats that the BJP won, One was by defeating KCR's daughter, that is K. Kavita. So that is what made it look like the BJP was now rising, and then BJP won a couple of by-elections in the state, and they also did very well. They ran KCR's party really close in Hyderabad Municipal Corporation election. So all these were seen as evidence that the BJP was rising. BJP was now the second party in Telangana and KCR's main challenger, and Congress had fallen behind. So what's happened now, DK, that looks like that the BJP has suddenly not looking that powerful. We don't know what will happen in the election, but it doesn't look that powerful now.
There are 3-4 reasons. You're talking about K. Kavita. I was talking to her. She was a bit dismissive. She called it all media hype. She said in 2018 assembly election, out of 119 seats, BJP lost deposits on 105. So she was saying that BJP was never such a big force. You people made it a big force. But the fact is, we are talking about 2018, but 2019 you spoke about it. BJP won 4 seats with 20% votes.
And Kavita herself lost to BJP.
Herself lost in Nizamabad. Then you had Greater Hyderabad Municipal Corporation election. BJP won 48 out of 150 seats. BJP in the last election, BJP had got just 4, from 4 to 48. It was a big leap. A month later, you had Dubaka Assembly by-poll. BJP won its 2nd seat. Then a year later, you had Huzurabad when Itala Rajendra joined them. BJP
Itala Rajendra used to be the health minister in KCR's cabinet.
Yeah. So BJP was of course on an ascendancy. The reasons why it seems to be losing now, what I am told by political experts there and politicians, the 3-4 things. One was BJP does not have a social base in Telangana as such. Modi factor worked in 2019, they won, but they do not have any solid social base. They do not have leaders on the ground. In the sense, MLA candidates, they do not have many.
And they sidelined their own established leader and brought in a defector from outside.
So exactly. So first of all, they do not have social base, no candidates. What KCR did, he realized after Huzurabad that now BJP would be poaching all the BRS MLAs. Itala Rajendra, as I was told by a senior BJP leader, Itala Rajendra was expected to bring about 30-40 MLAs from out of BRS camp. Itala could not deliver, and then when it came to ticket distribution, KCR wanted to change at least 25-30 MLAs, but then he thought these guys would go into the BJP camp. So he repeated almost 95% of MLAs, even though there was an anti-incumbency against many of them, just to deny the BJP those faces. That became a problem for the BJP. Second, Karnataka assembly election results, of course. After that, the cadre really got demotivated. They thought, okay, this party is not working in southern India, this party cannot go beyond a point. That was the sense on the ground from BJP workers, and that could have demotivated them. And then, of course, you were talking about this internal fight. Yes, for instance, in Dubaka MLA Raghunander Rao, he wanted to become the floor leader. Now, Bandi Sanjay opposed it because he wanted that T. Raja Singh, was suspended from the party, to become the floor leader whenever.
T. Raja Singh was suspended following that furor over remarks about the Holy Prophet.
Holy Prophet, yeah. So that
he's now been rehabilitated. He's a candidate.
He's a candidate now. He was expecting him to become the floor leader. Then again, many other leaders, they started. Itala Rajendra, for instance. Itala Rajendra wanted, or he had come into the BJP thinking that he would be the face, which was not the case, and did not get the backing neither from the party nor from the workers on the ground. He was getting frustrated. He started speaking against him. So this rebellion started building up, and that's when the BJP withdrew Bandi Sanjay. Bandi Sanjay was somebody who actually built the BJP as a force through his confrontationist politics. He would be attacking KCR all the time. KCR, his family, corruption charges, everything. BJP withdrew him in July, replaced him with J. Kishan Reddy, the union minister, who is much more malleable. He is not a fighter, street fighter that Bandi Sanjay was.
Malleable, what DK means in this case is he's a nice guy. Yeah. He's a nice guy who's not, I won't say who's not abusive. I mean, he's not abusive for sure, but he's also not somebody who's a bare-faced fighter.
Yeah. So all these factors went into this growing impression that BJP is not what it used to be until about a year back.
And at the same time, do you get the impression that Congress has recovered, and if so, why?
I think BJP built the ground for them. That anti-incumbency thing, Congress was nowhere there when the BJP was going hammer and tongs against the government, against KCR. They built up all that anti-incumbency sentiment and suddenly withdrew. Congress became a default beneficiary of that. That's one. Secondly, Karnataka election results also helped them. Cadre got enthused. Although, if you talk to Congress leaders, they also attribute it to Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra. Mostly when, if they do much better, Bharat Jodo Yatra is going to get credit.
Right.
But the fact is, it was all I would give it to the BJP, which built it up and then withdrew. And all those people then finally decided to go with the Congress.
And in any case, Congress was the leading party there even earlier.
Even earlier, it was always there. And the fact is, Sonia Gandhi still gets the credit for creating Telangana.
Right.
BJP cannot claim credit, even though it had supported it. Congress was the one which gave. So now when there is so much talk about statehood, Congress can claim it there.
So the Congress has had a revival of sorts. We don't know who will win, but the Congress, DK is telling us, has had a revival of sorts.
Very strong budge, and the anti-incumbency, that's yearning for change we are talking about, Congress looks like a force to reckon with, whereas BJP is not seen as a party which can dislodge KCR. So those, all the forces or all the voters who would want to dislodge KCR have seemed to be veering around the Congress now.
See how the BJP works. BJP, if you had any doubts, I'm sure at least none of our viewers should have that doubt, because we've been saying this all the time, that BJP is a 24/7 by 365 by 5. That is for 5 years. It's an election machine. That just the day campaigning stopped, campaigning came to an end in Telangana, the last of the 5 states going to the polls now, the very day Home Minister Amit Shah was in West Bengal now talking politics there. So it's as if he started parliament campaign in West Bengal, because that's what's going to be crucial for the BJP, because they want those 18, 19 seats if possible to get even more than that. So that party has moved on quite immediately. Now DK, everybody ultimately wants the biggest prize in India. And at various points of time, KCR has given indications that he sees himself as a national leader. He's been in the Congress, he's worked closely with Sharad Pawar, he has linkages in all the parties. He's a bit like Sharad Pawar. He's molded a bit in Sharad Pawar's own image, in the sense of keeping his utna batna linkages, friendships in every party. What happens to his national ambitions? Do you think those are now gone, or would he still have them? And second, did his national ambitions hurt him or help him? And finally, I will ask you, why did he not join India, the alliance? And do you see any chance that he might do this in the future?
I think Congress is Congress is not very keen on having KCR on their boat. There were talks earlier, a few months back. I think there was a time when Rahul Gandhi and Kavita were supposed to meet. That was quite a few months back. It didn't work out. So that initial, willingness to engage with the KCR was there in the Congress initially, but that got over soon.
So did KCR's national ambition help or hurt his politics?
I think it has not really hurt. National ambition is very much there.
Because he talked of a non-Congress, non-BJP alliance.
Simply because Congress he has always treated Congress as his chief rival. So even when BJP was rising, say 2019, Congress might have got less than the BJP in terms of number of seats, but his vote share was higher. So Congress was always the challenger. KCR knew that, and so there was no way that he was going with the Congress. Even now, as I am told by BRS leaders, that after this election he will start moving into other states. Maharashtra is his first target. I mean, we saw him moving into even Odisha, where he got Giridhar Gomang, the former chief minister, to join his party. So he will be playing that card, but not immediately, probably after this election. Secondly, whether it will hurt or help him, I think he is looking at the Lok Sabha election also, where if you fight against the BJP, you are seen as a regional party. So you are not a chief challenger. So that could help the Congress. So you project yourself as a national leader with the prime ministerial potential. It helps you in the Lok Sabha.
One thing we can say, we will know by Sunday afternoon what's going to happen, what happens in Telangana. One thing we can say is that KCR is among the most fascinating characters in our politics. Leader of a fairly small state with national ambitions, connections everywhere, some new ideas, and certainly without one problem that many other regional leaders have. At least he does not have to worry about succession within his party.
No. In fact, one interesting thing I find in his policies, you can call him a socialist, the way he is distributing resources everywhere. But in terms of economic policy, he is totally for private sector. The way he is making Hyderabad better and better. I mean, it's becoming one of the major investment destinations.
I started out by saying that it's the fastest growing metro in the country. You have to go there. It's also the most efficient metro in the country. And that's why you see so many MNCs, particularly high-tech companies, manufacturing companies going there. This is now a competition for Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. And I will also share with you the link of a story that our colleague Maushmi Dasgupta had done precisely saying this.
So his politics is socialist, but his economic outlook is almost capitalist.
So that is how it works now. That is the new politics. In fact, if you see economic growth and then you add this kind of distributive socialism, that I think that kind of populism we could live with. The issue, however, is that everybody is now doing it. So from where do you get product differentiation? And that is the question that faces the voters in Telangana now.